Have you ever wondered how some people are able to use their faith to manifest their dreams? Well, they don't just use wishful thinking or hoping on a prayer. They have figured out that you have to utilize faith as a tool to create tangible changes within your own life. I get it. Where you are right now might not match where you want to be. But that tension you feel, that's your faith in your future self pulling you towards a greater existence. And if you can learn to use faith along with science by using our knowledge of our brains to actually create change, you can start to rewire yourself one neural pathway at a time and manifest your dream life. Hi, my name is Kristi. I'm a board certified nurse practitioner, health coach, and trauma survivor. This is Trauma Free, where I help you change your mind and change your life, just like I did. Broken, broke, and battling demons, yet I knew greatness was coming. Turns out that deep belief within me wasn't just wishful thinking. It was the most scientific survival tool that I had. I have used my faith countless times, often when it was my only lifeline. And that belief, it didn't just keep me afloat. It built the life I live today. And I want to show you how to do the same. So let's get into it. When we talk about faith, we can't ignore the scripture. It's the foundation of what most people believe in, and even if you don't, it still has valuable insights. So let's start with one of the most powerful verses in the Bible, Hebrews 11:1, that says, "Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Now let's sit with that for a second. Faith is a substance, not a feeling, not a wish, not a vibe, a substance. That means it has weight. It carries something. It's not invisible energy floating around in the atmosphere. It's essentially the energetic down payment on the reality you haven't seen yet. Think of faith as a spiritual contract between you and the future you're calling in. It's like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You nurture it. You believe in it. You water it with action and anticipation that things will work out as they should. Science supports this belief because studies have found that people with strong spiritual beliefs report greater resilience, lower rates of depression, and higher life satisfaction. That means faith doesn't just feel good. It creates real emotional stability. Because when people engage in consistent spiritual practices like prayer and meditation, their cortisol levels drop, which is the stress hormone, and the prefrontal cortex lights up the part of the brain responsible for clarity, discipline, focus, and decision making. So when you pray, when you visualize, when you believe, even when you have no physical proof yet, you're literally reprogramming your brain for success. Faith can actually rewire your brain. It quiets the circuits of fear and anxiety. It activates the areas of logic and foresight. It calms your nervous system, making space for composure, confidence, and the courage to flow. And it trains your subconscious to expect a breakthrough, not awaiting a breakdown. And let's not overlook something incredibly profound, called the placebo effect. Even in clinical medicine, belief alone can change biology. In numerous studies, it has been shown when people believe they are receiving healing, even if it's just a sugar pill, their bodies respond as if healing is actually happening. That's proof of the mind and body connection. It tells us this: your belief can alter your biology, your behavior, and eventually your entire life. Maybe you can relate to this situation because I sure can. You're in the midst of a personal crisis. You have bills that are due. Your relationships are strained. A better opportunity feels so far away. And everything in your environment tells you this is not going to work out. But something inside you whispers, I don't know how, but I know I'm going to make it. And you do. That right there, that's not just positive thinking. That's neurological resilience and spiritual alignment. That's faith in motion, the kind that turns an unseen vision into a lived reality. So whether you call it prayer, belief, energy, or expectancy, your faith is shaping your focus, and your focus is shaping your future. Your job isn't to control the outcome. Your job is to align your thoughts, your words, and your energy with what you say you're believing in. And when you do, your brain follows. your body aligns, and your reality begins to shift. Let's get into the preparation, the mental groundwork that makes manifestation even possible. Habakkuk 2 and 2 says, "Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, so that he may run who reads it." What that means is clarity is the key. You can't manifest what you don't even know you want. So many people say they're waiting on God, but God is waiting on them to get clear, to declare what they're asking for, to take ownership of their desires without shame and without apology. You can't magnetize a dream you're too scared to name. For example, a study found that people who write their goals down are 42% more likely to achieve them. So write your vision, not just what you want, but why you want it, where you'll live, how you'll feel, and how you'll be when you wake up in that future reality. Because the mind sees specifics, it starts searching for alignment. Now let's talk about the brain. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. That means your thoughts, when repeated consistently, actually rewire the structure of your brain. You're not just thinking new things. You're building new highways in your mind that make those thoughts easier to believe in and act on over time. So if you're repeating truths like, "I am aligned with abundance," "I trust divine timing," "I'm not chasing, I'm choosing," you're literally building a mental roadmap towards that new reality. But if you're repeating to yourself, "I'm not enough," "things never work out for me," "why even try?" your brain doesn't judge the content it receives. It just reinforces what is told, and your life starts to look like the very thoughts you never meant to manifest. Think of your brain like soil. Whatever seed you plant, faith or fear, it will grow. Faith-based affirmations provide neural conditioning. Think of these statements like you're weightlifting for your emotions. Every rep prepares you to handle the future you're building. Say them in the mirror. Record them in your voice. Write them in your journal. Whatever you do, repeat them until your brain accepts them as truth. Now let's talk about surrender, the step most people skip. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight." And psychology confirms this. A study found that people who learn to surrender control, especially over outcomes they can't predict, experience reduced anxiety, better emotional regulation, and improved decision making. So breathe. You don't need to figure out the how. You just need to stay aligned with your why. Picture this. You're driving on a foggy night with headlights that only show the next 50 feet of road. You can't see the entire route ahead, but as long as you keep moving, the path keeps unfolding. That's how faith actually works. That's how manifestation happens. Not by waiting for full clarity, but by committing to your destination and trusting the road will appear as you go. You're not just preparing your mind to manifest, you're preparing your whole being to receive the life God already designed for you. Okay, now you've written the vision and you're aligned your thoughts, but let's be clear. Faith is not passive. It's not just sitting and waiting. It's moving like the thing you asked for is already yours. So let's break down the 3 most powerful ways to activate your faith. 1. The power of prayer and visualization. Prayer isn't begging. It's bold conversation with the divine. It's declaring what you believe even before you see it. For instance, brain scans from a study found that when people pray or visualize healing, their brains light up in the same areas as when they're physically experiencing the change, because your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So when you visualize your dream life in detail, how it feels to wake up there, walk in that home, run that business, you're literally programming your nervous system to expect it. Close your eyes for a second. Picture yourself stepping onto the stage you've been praying for. The heat of the spotlight, the weight of the mic in your hand, that unshakable certainty in your gut. This isn't fantasy, it's foresight. Neuroscience proves it. When you visualize with this much detail, your brain fires the same neural pathways as if you were actually there. You're not just dreaming, you're doing mental rehearsals for a moment that's already on its way. Number 2, faith in motion. Here's the part most people leave out. You still have to take action. Manifestation isn't some mystical trick. It's partnering with what God's already placed inside you. If you believe God will bless your business, start the research, open your business account, create the logo, because faith looks like preparation. You don't wait to get ready. You get ready as proof you believe it's coming. I call this energetic agreement. When your faith and your actions sync up to say, I trust this deeply. I'll move before I see it. Number 3, using gratitude to rewire and receive. Now let's talk about something most people overlook, gratitude. To demonstrate, a study found that people who kept a gratitude journal just for 3 weeks experienced a 25% increase in happiness and were more likely to make progress towards their goals. Here's why. Because gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's possible. It moves your energy from I hope to I already have. This trains your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information, to start noticing opportunities, blessings, and pathways aligned with your desires. I want you to say right now, thank you, God, for the version of me I haven't even met yet. Picture this. You're in your tiny kitchen, reheating leftovers for the 3rd time this week, but you're thanking God like you're already walking through the front door of your dream home. That's not denial, that's divine alignment. Science calls it vibrational matching. Faith calls it the substance of things hoped for, but the result is the same. When you thank God for what's coming like it's already here, you activate the momentum for miracles to occur. I can recall times in my life when I was clueless about the path ahead and how things would get better, but I remained thankful because even in my worst times, I knew someone else would trade with me in a second. I would say to God, thank you, even though I don't know the plan, I know your promise. And that belief, it carried me through setbacks most people don't overcome. And it became the foundation for everything I have now. It's about preparing, like the opportunity is already yours. Because when the door opens, you won't need to get ready. You'll already be ready. We all have had that desperate cry to God, asking, why is this taking so long? But here's what I've learned. Delay doesn't mean no. It means not yet. Because God is doing what you can't see. While you're waiting, you're gaining strength to handle what's coming. People and resources are being positioned for you, and you are being protected from what you're not ready for. This waiting period, it isn't wasted. It's where the real work happens. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven. Let's break it down. When manifesting doesn't happen on your own timeline, it doesn't mean it's not coming. It might just mean you're being prepared for what you pray for. You're praying for a mansion-sized blessing, but right now your spiritual foundation can only handle an apartment. Because the greater the blessing, the sturdier the foundation needs to be. Your delay isn't rejection, it's divine construction. In the Stanford marshmallow experiment, researchers studied children who were given one marshmallow. They had the option to wait for a second one. The kids who delayed gratification, who could actually wait, grew up to have higher SAT scores, better health, and more financial stability. So what does that mean for you? Your ability to wait in faith, not frustration, is a sign of long-term success. Imagine this. You're watching bread bake. It smells amazing, and you're hungry, but if you take it out too early, it collapses. That's what happens when you force a manifestation before you're truly ready for it. Undercooked dreams can fall flat, so let it cook. Every delay, every disappointment, these aren't punishments. They're sacred redirections. Because studies have shown that people with spiritual beliefs and practices bounce back faster from failure and trauma. Why? Because faith provides meaning, and meaning turns pain into purpose. Instead of asking, why is this happening? Start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That failed relationship? Maybe it was protecting you from building your future with someone who wasn't meant to go where you're going. That financial setback? Maybe it was a test to see if you could manage a little before you're trusted with more. I know you've heard of something like this happening. A person is trying to make it on time somewhere, but they have to take an unexpected detour. They're annoyed, frustrated, and end up being late. But moments later, they find out that there was a major crash on the route that they wanted to take. That delay, it saved their life. And that's how God works. Your brain is wired to seek patterns and control. So when something unexpected happens, it triggers fear. But with faith practices like prayer, journaling, and reflection, you teach your brain that uncertainty doesn't equal danger. You move from reactive to resilient. And when your spirit can hold tension without breaking your life, it starts unfolding in divine alignment. There were years when I felt like my dream life was on the other side of just one yes. But that yes never came. What I didn't know at the time was I was the yes I'd been waiting on. Every no, every setback built the resilience, the strength, and the faith I needed to carry the vision I hold now. And it's led me to my success. Remember, you're not being punished. You're being positioned. Because if it's not here yet, it's still on the way. And if you're thinking, oh, that sounds good, but will it work for me? That's a fair question. But let me tell you what happened to me when I was scared and unsure, but I still leaned into my faith, and my life transformed as a result of it. There was a time I wasn't sure I'd live to see my own purpose. You may or may not know, but I was shot 4 times with an AK-47. I survived, but the trauma, it lingered for years. The pain made me question everything, but even in that darkness, there was a whisper in my spirit. You're still here for a reason. Faith became the light that guided me. I didn't manifest healing overnight. I manifest one belief at a time. And neuroplasticity shows that even in trauma, the brain can be rewired. Now I don't just talk about healing, I live it. And if that's possible for me, it's possible for you. Faith doesn't guarantee comfort, it guarantees growth. Anyone who made it to the other side of struggle didn't have all the answers. They just refused to stop believing. So ask yourself, if it happened for them, then why not me? Faith isn't just praying and waiting for your dream life to appear. It's becoming the kind of person who can hold that dream when it arrives. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have all the answers, but you do need to show up for yourself. Because here's the truth. Faith without the work, that's fantasy. But faith with aligned action, that's how you change your life. And if you're ready to break the cycle of overthinking, self-doubt, and emotional burnout, download my free daily self-check-in. The link is in the description, and it's a science-backed guide to help you check in with yourself so you can build a better version of yourself and your faith. Because when you're more attuned to you, your intuition sharpens, your confidence grows, and your faith becomes unstoppable. Imagine a version of you who no longer begs for signs because you've become the proof that it works. It's possible with faith. And until next time, take care.